Good morning and welcome to this Hutt Valley Chamber of Commerce Business live stream. These live streams are part of our COVID recovery program that we've put together to support the business community through the next 12 months and through the challenges of COVID-19. This is about ensuring our entire local business community gets all the support, advice and guidance that we can provide to help you reset and recover from the impacts of this pandemic. The program at this stage is a 12-month program of services that we're providing to the entire Hutt Valley business community completely free of charge and certainly in this live stream format. It is for anyone owning, managing or working in a business in the Hutt Valley and the wider Wellington region, and as well as all of those who are doing work in businesses in this region. And we also are very pleased to see we're getting a lot of coverage elsewhere throughout the country. It seems a lot of Aucklanders seem to be logging into us as well. So if you happen to be from Auckland, welcome. So COVID-19 is having a major impact on immigration and our migrant community. This migrant community is a key part of our economic fabric and makes up much of the skill set that enables our businesses to deliver their services and products. Border closures, expiring visas and increasing local unemployment are all factors putting a lot of pressure on the migrant community. And this morning we're really fortunate to have with us June Ranson from Woburn International. June, welcome this morning. Great to see you.
Hello, Helen. Good to see you too.
Yeah, thanks, June. So June is a bronze partner with the Hutt Valley Chamber of Commerce. June started and runs Woburn International and is an expert in the migrant community and in immigration. She's also a long-serving board member of the Hutt Valley Chamber, but she's also leading the charge with government to stand up for and advocate for employees and employers who rely on the migrant community and immigration for their businesses to operate and for their livelihoods. So June brings us expertise that is very much needed in these challenging times, and so I'm sure you'll all really benefit from her advice and knowledge this morning. Welcome, June.
Thank you, Helen. And look, welcome to you all listening here, because I am talking to you, employers, and I am a licensed immigration advisor. I've been operating for 29 years, and as Helen correctly said, yes, I am one of the key people leading the charge for you employers, but also looking at how the migrants are actually being treated. You are reading a lot of things going on in the media, but there's been a lot of changes going through last week. In fact, there's changes going through every day. I'm in the thick of it, and the whole thing is evolving all the time. We've never been in a phase like this at all. With regard to what's going on the immigration front. Now, I felt it was very important to be talking to you, employers, because these recent changes, which actually were implemented on Friday, they're going to impact on you, your migrant staff, their families, and also the way in which you operate your businesses. And I want you to get the heads up and know what's happening. So I do thank you for connecting with me this morning. Now, you may not be aware of what the changes are with the immigration policies, and you need to know the way forward and what's going to be different from the past and what these impacts on your business is going to be. Now, firstly, those migrant staff members who had their visas expiring between the 2nd of April and 9th of July. And you will remember there's been a lot of, earlier this year, there was a lot of media coverage about this because of COVID. People weren't able to get their visas updated, etc., because immigration wasn't operating. So immigration actually extended these individuals' visas until the 25th of September. Now, these persons who had their visas extended, they are going to receive automatic extensions at no charge for an additional 6 months. Now, this means their visas will expire 6 months from the original expiry date of their visas. So those persons who had their visas expiring after the 9th of July and before the 20th of December will also be granted an automatic further 6 months. It sounds rather complicated, but I'll just recap that. So those people who had visas expiring between the 2nd of April and the 9th of July, immigration automatically updated them during COVID-19 until the 25th of September. Now, the government recognised they suddenly had a cliff face with all these persons suddenly having their visas expire all at once. So last week, they brought in a process where automatic extensions will be brought in at no charge to that migrant for an additional 6 months. And that actually means that their visas expiring after 9th of July and before 20th of September, they're also going to be granted a further 6 months. However, there is a major calamity here because these migrants, their independent family members, they're not included in that renewal. So this is quite serious, and they've got to apply for the visas and pay for them themselves. Remember, it's only for 6 months. So the visa dependents, they're going to be paying and having one of the most expensive visas in the world because it's not for a full 12 months, but they're paying the 12-month fee. They're only going to be granted 6 months. Now, the approach is messy, it's discriminatory, and dependents are part of the family group, and it's the family unit, so it is going to be breaking up families. It's not good. I don't believe it's been thought through. Also, any of these expiring visa holders earning over $25.50 per hour, you need to re-advertise that job. You've got to. Now, if you wish to offer these employees with your company because they've done a good job, the opportunity to remain with you, the job's got to be advertised. Now, the only time you don't advertise the position is if it appears on one of the skill shortage lists. However, should the job be based in a region which is outside of the Greater Wellington area, for example, the Wairarapa, there's no labour market test is needed. And the same applies throughout New Zealand. If it's a major area, then it has to be advertised. If it's not, it would be not needing to be advertised. Now, another revelation that's come through is that from the end of this month, proving the skills of the migrant to get the temporary visa is abolished. Instead, the length of time a temporary work visa is issued for is driven by the salary offered by the employer for the job. So skills are going to mean nothing. It's all driven by the salary offer. So anyone earning under $25.50 per hour from end July 2020 is now regarded as a low-skilled worker. So that means outside of the automatic extensions I've mentioned, which has been implemented due to the COVID-19, the migrant worker who would have previously been entitled to 3 applications for 12 months, giving them a total stay in New Zealand for 3 years, that will no longer be applying. They will only be given 6-month visas on each occasion to make up the 3 years stay. The employer re-advertising the position each 6 months, the migrant having to pay the full temporary visa fee each time. And that temporary work visa fee is $495. And once again, the families have got to be treated separately. This week I was in a meeting with the government officials and we were asking what was the rationale behind excluding the family members. and they said that they had placed the emphasis on looking after the employer with regard to them maintaining the person they needed for work. There was no consideration given whatsoever to the family members. The government is trying to push wages up, and the push has come from the unions. Now, I would be worried as an employer who relies on the actual migrant workers, as although the government is trying to encourage the New Zealanders to take up most of these positions, and that's a good thing. You know, Kiwis must come first, and we know we're going to get high employment. But the fact of expecting that New Zealanders are going to take up all of these positions, it's not going to happen, simply because there are some jobs, and it's been proven over and over again, that New Zealanders will not do. For example, they won't want to be working in the aged care area. Very hard work, having to wipe backsides of elderly people. The hospitality workers is another area. Two good examples. But I mean, we hear a lot from the farmers at the moment. Another thing you need to be aware of is that you're hearing the complaints about the slow processing of applications by immigration. They're overloaded with all these applications, and they're not intending to recruit new staff. So not including dependents in the 6 months extensions and expecting them to apply separately is only going to increase the volume of applications. It just simply doesn't make sense. Now, I'm very much aware that a number of you employers actually do have needs for specialist people who are highly skilled, and they're just simply not in New Zealand. Now, to undertake this role, and you can prove that there's nobody in New Zealand and you really do need the person, there is a pathway to get these people in. It's challenging, it's complex, it's not fast, but it does work. But you need patience, and the process is evolving all the time. This was one area I took a crusade up on for employers, because I was hearing around the country how you were suffering and you just couldn't get the people in. And there's a lot to it, but it can be done. So to go down this path, firstly, you have to seek an approval in principle, and that must be obtained first. The next stage is to gain a travel exemption with work right conditions. The next stage is the booking of the mandatory managed 14-day quarantine accommodation. Now, the employer is liable for the costs and has to give that guarantee. The government manages the process, and the cost estimate we've been given guidance on is around $6,000 for that 14 days. Now, the quarantining has been a major issue. I know we're hearing lots about it in the media, but there are limited spaces, and the government is working on expanding the facilities available in New Zealand. Now, if you want a migrant for longer than 12 months, a further visa must be applied for, and that's during the time they are in New Zealand. So look, that brings you up to date, but it is a changing scene every day. And I have regular meetings with the officials, so I am forewarned as to what is coming. But thank you for listening, and I'm open to hear any questions from you.
Thank you, June. I know you and I talk quite frequently about immigration issues, and I certainly read some of the media and that sort of thing last week, but those changes are substantial, and even I'm quite surprised by them in terms of the disruption that's going to cause for business continuity. One of the areas I personally am seeing is that many of our manufacturers are very busy right now meeting demand, and many are facing quite a lot of growth. This would be a significant challenge for them, wouldn't it, in terms of migrant workers?
Absolutely. It's a matter of keeping up with what is going on. But these, I'm being sidetracked here, Helen, because I've got these two guys that have suddenly appeared waving at me.
I don't know what that is. I can't see who that is. I can't see them, so they're not on our live stream. So
Okay.
I don't know where they've
come from that, but that's beside the point.
I don't know where that's come from. Maybe we've got someone live stream bombing us right now.
He keeps waving at me. Anyway.
So quite a challenge for manufacturers in terms of dealing with, some of them have got some very spiky growth right now and some big demand. Yes,
that is very much correct. And look, some of the challenges for that is that a lot of these low-grade workers, as they're called now, low-skilled people, you are going to be needing them, and it is going to be quite painstaking. But look, if you are able to get these people over the $25.50 level, then they will in fact be falling into a higher medium to high criteria, so they will in fact get longer term visas. Right. I think from what I'm picking up from many of the manufacturers is the fact that they need these key people. They're prepared to train New Zealanders, but the thing is the skills required to train these people just aren't available. Look, one of the things that I've been able to do is forge together the key associations in New Zealand, whereby we could have a louder voice to go to with government. So, and we've also having close conversations with the Employers Association and the various, what was previously announced as lead agencies. And we were in fact, we're engaged in talking with them, because questions are saying is, how does the government really know that these people aren't available in New Zealand? Apart from advertising and looking on the skills shortage list, what else are they doing? And we're very much probing this, because there's a high number of declines coming through. The big thing is our borders are closed. You've also got the big issue that the elections are coming up. And the political side of things, they know that the safety of the country is paramount. So people are saying we don't want migrants because they take our jobs. We don't want the border open because we don't want the virus in. And we don't want quarantining to be paid for by us, the taxpayers. So they've got to take all that into consideration. But we've also got to think of the economic recovery of this country. And we've also got to think of the fairness of treating the people that we've got here as migrants. And are they getting a fair go at it?
June, would you have any idea of how many migrants would be in the country at any one time? Is it, because it's quite a few people, isn't it, who would be working in New Zealand on visas?
Look, I can't tell you off the top of my head on that, because there have been a large number that have gone back. But we have got situations where we've got people that have got their homes and lives established in this country. They've got their cars, they've got their jobs, and they have been trapped offshore. It's like you going away on holiday and you've got your home and everything established here, and then you come back and you suddenly can't get back. You're stranded in a foreign country. You've got no extra money to live on. You've got no job. You've got no right to stay in that country permanently. Your kids can't get to school. That's the situation many of these people are trapped in. And at last count, we've been told that there's about 600 or 700 of these folk, and we're trying to see what we can do to help them come back, because employers can only keep jobs open for so long, but they also realise many of these are key people.
Absolutely. Okay. Just a technical question. You said if people had jobs in that particular category, they'd need to re-advertise them. Is that all they have to do, is just re-advertise them? But do they have to interview and go through the whole recruitment process and prove that they have to prove that they have tried to fill that position locally every 6 months?
Correct. And what they would be doing is that they would be having a list of every person that applied for that job, and they put down on there what was the outcome, why that person wasn't successful. And then, of course, depending on the level of where the job fits, if it's under the $25.50, they've got to go to the Ministry of Social Development, list the job there, and the ministry would be trying to source the person for that job.
Right.
You've got challenges with that also, because what we constantly hear is, well, this person can be trained, but does an employer really want to wait 8 to 12 months for that person to be up to speed?
Yeah, there's just huge disruption actually. I'm trying to recruit right now, and the number of applicants, one part-time job, and I've got 65 applicants, are just wading through all those CVs, let alone going through that whole process every 6 months for a migrant position, is just not feasible. So for many businesses.
Exercise.
Very expensive and very disruptive.
Yeah, and they use the recruitment companies, but of course, if they've got to do it every 6 months, that's tough going.
Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. So it appears we don't have any other questions this morning. If you do have questions later on in the day when you've given this some thought, because June's given you a lot of very good information that I'm sure many of you were not aware of, and in some ways very alarming, actually, some of this information, June. If you have any questions, then please pop the questions in the Facebook feed and in the comments section, and we will make sure that June gets to see those and get those answers for you. We'll also, June, can you pop your contact details up in the Facebook feed, or we'll do that for you, and so that people can get in touch with you as well. Do you want to share those with them now, how they can get in touch with you?
I'm a licensed immigration advisor. I'm the CEO of Woburn International, and my phone number is 021 422 095. I've got a brilliant team of people that work with me, well experienced, and we'd be only too pleased to hear from you.
Thanks very much, June, and thank you so much for your time this morning and bringing us all up to date on the issues when we look at employing migrants. So, have a great day, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Pleasure. Bye, everyone.